Hey everyone, I have a whole list of things to show you guys today, starting with where I left off in the last video when I dragged that big wetland pot with the tall plants in it. Well, I put it right back there because look what it does. It blocks the ugly blue thing. See the ugly blue thing trying to peek out? At least from this angle. And I've also been working back in this garden area to get more flowers going and to make space for my chaya that needed more space. Look how big it's getting. And I know we're crowded, but it's going to be okay because that's how my garden lives its life. Here's my wild lime that's going to be trimmed regularly, and shoved right beside it is my Florida privet, which is going to grow up like a small tree. I'm going to prune it so it'll have more of a stem coming up beside where this wild lime's going to shrub out, and then up above where the wild lime will be where the fullness of the Florida privet will be. So it's gonna work. It's gonna work. And it's already started growing. See that tall stem there? It wasn't that tall when I put it in. So chaya is gonna get tall and fill in and get beautiful white flowers that attract butterflies. Not native, but it's near my tropical section that has a lot of not native. And then the Florida privet, native, and a keystone shrub tree, small tree shrub plant that provides a lot for my local native ecology. So super excited to have that. Right here beside it is my wild lime, also Florida native. And this is where I've been finding most of my giant swallowtail eggs, is on this one right here in the corner. And especially since I cleaned this all up and I'm keeping the passiflora incense going down behind it and not over it, it's so happy. This is the one that froze back to the ground and I thought wasn't going to survive from our 2 nights in the 20s. And look at it grow, guys. It's fabulous. So then I had some potted zinnias, which are right here, that were back there where the Florida privet now is. So I moved that pot here. And I had this potted, it's got a variety of things. It has Mexican sunflower, my pagoda plant, and then this is, it's some kind of native false rosemary, or is it the basil? It's one of those herby. Oh yeah. Well, it kind of smells, what's it smell like? Yeah, it's a herby. I wanted to say oregano, but I don't think so. So anyway, that's in this pot also. This comes up everywhere, but it's native, and so we let it. And then this big pot is doing a fabulous job providing support for these tall Mexican sunflowers that are growing behind it. And so now it kind of forces all the blooms to be more together. And I love it that way. It's gorgeous. Everything's gorgeous. I also brought out my little powder puff tropical plants because this is my tropical garden where I have like tropical plants that I love that aren't necessarily native to Florida, but there's a lot of natives back in there too. That'll be another time because it's a work in progress, but I have started planting more back there and I like how it's looking. Look how lush it looks just right there. So anyway, These are supposed to be the pink ones that get tall and beautiful. But these, look, it even says it on the thing. See, it says pink, right? But these apparently are the dwarf red, which I didn't want the dwarf red. I wanted the pink ones, but they're cute. And I mean, it took forever for it to bloom. It's been a while since I bought these. So anyway, we'll keep them. They're supposed to be a butterfly favorite. I have another one right here. So we're going to leave. Look how cute. I mean, they're adorable. Don't get me wrong. The red ones are adorable. But the pink ones are spectacular and something to behold. However, I haven't seen any butterflies on them. And I'm beginning to have some thoughts about that. These are not the first plants that I have purchased that said butterfly magnets. And it's not that I disbelieve that they're butterfly magnets. It's that I do believe that because I have so many Florida natives in my garden, plus the Mexican sunflower and the red pentas, that they by far surpass the butterfly magnetism of the dwarf red powder puff. Since there's so many things to choose from in this garden, I feel like the butterflies go for their favorites. Whereas if that was the only thing I had here, you might see lots of butterflies going to it because they didn't have any other options. Anyway, that's just what I think. I think they like the natives the best because natives are ecologically designed to provide the perfect nutrition for the insects that grew up with these plants, and they all work together. The insects provide certain benefits to the plants provide certain benefits to the insects. So fill your garden with tons of native plants and then add a few little spicy extras like Mexican sunflowers and red pentas. I have also been working on this, which it basically has been sticking a bunch of potted things in here to get some flower action going. My lantana, my Florida native lantana right there with the yellow blooms, it was struggling in the hot Florida sun. I have two of them that are potted, and I keep them in pots because they do not like cold weather. And I don't want them to go away. I'd rather move their little potted selves inside for nights of cold and then bring them back out again. So that's why they're in pots. And so I put them in here to give them a little respite from the sun, and they seem quite pleased with this location. I also moved my Monarch Magic. It was struggling in the heat of the sun. Did great in the spring, but then this was like too much. And it's coming back and flowering and looking very happy here. So I just need to keep in mind that some plants that are not native, or even some that are native but that are more tender, or maybe they're more native to North Florida or the Panhandle, those plants might need a little extra care. They might need a little extra shade in the heat of our summers here in Central Florida. I'm in Central Florida, Zone 10A, but if you're in Central or South and you've got some natives that are native to North Florida or the Panhandle, they might do well in pots that you can relocate them in the heat of summer so they can continue to be happy. Do you see a lot of butterflies out? No. I woke up this morning to thunder. I was like, what is going on? It like rarely rains in the morning here unless there's like a tropical system, which there could be because I haven't watched the news in a bit. So it's very overcast. There's a few butterflies out, but nothing like what there would be if there was full blazing sun. And speaking of things not doing well in freezes, I was super mad at myself for not putting all of my pentas in the house during the freeze. A lot of them were in the garden room and they were covered there, but it got too cold for them. So I lost a lot of my potted pentas and all the pentas that were in the ground. I think I dug them up and potted them, if I recall, and moved them in, but I didn't move them in far enough. So it got me thinking. I have some pentas I planted in the ground. I thought, you know what? I want to dig them up and put them in pots because I don't want to lose any of my pentas this year if we have that happen again. And I don't want to be without flowers and then be desperately searching for anything blooming, where if I take these guys in the house, if it's cold, too cold, then I can bring them back out and I have flowers. So look how overgrown my pentas garden walkway has become. It didn't take long. Like everything is growing and thriving and filling in faster than I can keep my walkways clear. And I love it. But I have 3 red pentas back here. One of them is still in the ground and actually leaning over the walkway. So I need to get it standing upright. I just was short some potting soil, so I didn't get to this one, which my most fabulous husband went and restocked my potting soil. It's in the back of his truck. So as soon as I get that back here, I can take care of this one. But the other 2 I put in these deep grow pots. They're still in the same location, and as you can see, they transplanted just fine. And yes, it'll be a lot of work to have to haul those in, but I'm strong. I can do it. I have time. I don't like being cold, but I'm also don't want to go through what I went through last year again, and that is what will motivate me. I also had a nice collection of Florida native wildflowers. They were still in their pots. I had to do some more research on them, see where I wanted to plant them, and I got a few of them planted and taken care of. So heading up to the Florida native wildflower garden. Oh, look at that. Oh, well, there was a Gulf fritillary in there, warming its wings. I'm wondering, like, if this cloud cover burns off, the butterflies are gonna all come out. But up here and down this walkway, I planted my Rudbeckia mollis, and its flowers are starting to be kind of spent. This is also the soft hair cone flower, and this one will reseed, so hopefully it will fill in here, because before there wasn't a lot of color in here, and I think it's the perfect spot to add a different type of pop of yellow besides all the starry rosin weeds that are here, which I love, love, love. And around in front, I've got a narrow leaf ironweed that I think I'm going to plant in this location. I just put the pot there just to let me see if it's going to be happy there. I also planted in the ground Florida native lantana variety depressa, and I planted my Maryland golden aster, which looks like it's going to be blooming soon. It gets kind of lower, so I thought that would be good in front of the massive starry rosin weeds. It would add some color to that space. Now, I used to have my Stokes asters in here, and they were not happy. So I moved them to a big pot, and they're still not happy, but they're looking better, and I think they're gonna be happy. Hello, little bee. How adorable are you? See, everybody's gonna start to come out now. The rain has cleared. And then right behind me is my white top aster, also known as the Dixie aster. And I put it over here because there's also on the, there's also a native snowberry that I showed you a few videos ago. There's a rice button aster. I thought, well, that'd be a good spot for you. So be aster with the snowberry in between. We'll see how that goes. And a big, you know, cosmos that came up on its own right in the middle of it all. You guys, this is a Tursa sphinx moth who I rescued. Oh my gosh. I love this thing because normally I would scoop them up in my hands and they feel kind of freaky in your hands because they're just the way they move so fast. Okay, let's set them free. Ready? You're gonna go fast. Ooh. I also planted or potted my summer sweet. Now, summer sweet is a Florida native, but it's native to the Panhandle, and it likes deep shade and a wet setting. So, of course, I put it in a wetland pot, but it's back here in my shade garden, which is kind of fun. And it seems to be happy as putting out new growth. And it produces flowers that attract native bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. So I am like thrilled to have this addition to my garden, especially something that likes shade. It's not often you find a butterfly attracting plant that likes shade and a wetland pot. I mean, fabulous. We'll be checking back on that. I also told you in my last video that I was trying a new milkweed, and I am, and trying is key. I'm not successful with it yet, but you know how when I order pipevine from Joyful Butterfly, and sometimes I need like another random plant to put in my cart to get free shipping, because that's what I like to do. Well, so I put Asclepias viridis in my cart because it is native here in Florida. And I stuck it in a pot and stuck it out with all my other potted things outside the garden room door. And it got eggs on it right away. And caterpillars munched it down and it grew back. I was like, oh, you're growing back. How lovely. I'll put you in pots and put you all over my garden. But alas, no, you can't put it in pots because it has a long taproot that makes it survive in dry, sandy, rocky climates. My garden isn't particularly dry, sandy, and rocky, but I do have sandy soil. And there is a part of my garden that is particularly dry because of how I designed it. When I put in my 2 wetland gardens, one here, there's a walkway there, and then wetland garden there. Back behind it and on this walkway, I sloped down so that when it rained, the water would run into the 2 wetlands and not in that high middle section, which I'm about to show you, which stays dry and sandy and in the blazing hot full sun, which you're not seeing today. Oh, look at this little, we've looked at him before. Sorry, we're being interrupted by adorableness. I know we've looked at this little guy before and I don't recall his name, but we've looked at him. Oh, look, there's a thread waisted. Look at all the people on this mountain mint. I love this plant. Why did it take me so long to get this? Who knew? Why didn't I know? Okay, anyway, So I planted some of the, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are y'all doing? I planted some of the asclepias viridis here, and some of it looks happy and some of it doesn't, but that's okay as long as I have a few that look happy. So I'll be checking back and letting you know how this does. This one does not look happy, but that one does, and that one does, and that one does. So I'll check back and let you know, because if I can get this to grow here, that'd be a great additional type of milkweed to use that is Florida native. A week or two ago, I posted a photo in the community of a little stem with a bunch of little baby Pollinator swallowtail caterpillars on it. And there was little to no pipe vine grown back yet because it had all been recently eaten down. Again, we're getting interrupted by a butterfly, but there's a beautiful cloudless sulfur right there on my tropical sage. Oh, and you know how, oh my gosh, the blue, or the, I can't talk, I'm so excited about what I want to show you, and the other thing I'm trying to remember to tell you, you guys, is too much for me. Look, this is my Orangium integrifolium, and it's starting to get pollinators on it because the flowers are starting to come into their own, which is that one right there. Do you see that blue color? And look, pollinators. And when all of these get more completed in their flower selves, they will be covered. This is a Florida native. I absolutely love wetland. One of my favorite wetland plants. It's so unique. Look at the stem, how it just comes up. I love it. I love it. I've got lots of it growing in my garden. It's easy to grow from seed. It's a pollinator favorite. Butterflies love it. But back to what we were talking about. The pipe vine wasn't grown in very much. And remember past videos I was telling you about how once the polydamas started eating a particular type of pipe vine, they wouldn't switch to another one. The other pipe vine I had in my garden is Aristolochia littoralis, which works for polydamas fine, does not work for pipe vine. They cannot live on it. It will actually kill them if they consume it. So I had gathered up all of the littoralis and put it in one of those pop-up little tent things to keep it isolated, but to keep it all. And I thought, oh, these little guys are young. So what if I took them? Because there was not enough. I mean, you can see this has grown back a lot, but this still would not be enough for all of them. I thought, what if I take them when they're tiny babies, before they've had a chance to have taste preferences, before they become picky teenagers. So I took the little stem with the little babies on it and I stuck it in that tent with the Aristolochia littoralis on it. And it worked. They're eating it. The little tent is up front. There's butterflies coming out. Can you see all the things flying around? You can tell the rain is heading out and the life is beginning to explode in my garden. Everybody's hungry and coming out. So up here, see right there, that little tent? All of my potted Aristolochia littoralis is in there. And you can see, well, let's go in. I'll put you guys in. There are Pollinator swallowtail caterpillars living it up in here. And so I thought, well, you know what? I mean, they're safe. So I'll just toss some in here when they're babies when I find them and let them eat it all. And they can just, you know, pupate in here and eat cloves, and I'll let them free. And then I'll just let this grow up again and do the same with some young babies. And isn't that awesome? I love it. And you see there's munch marks all over, but these guys would not have been able to survive on what little pipe vine there was back there. And look at the adorableness. I mean, look at these cuties. So I just love that. And I love that I have a use for all of this that I grew. And I'm glad. And yet it's not out in my garden where a pipevine swallowtail could mistakenly lay eggs on it and those caterpillars would not thrive. So pretty fabulous. And I think I forgot to mention when I was talking about the asclepias viridis that it gets a taproot, which is a very long root that goes way down to access water that's further down and helps it survive in a drought, which is why they won't do well in pots, because if their taproot gets damaged, they will not continue living. And if you get some, you have to be very careful with transplanting it and take care of that root. And even though they are shipped in pots from Joyful Butterfly, or you'll buy them in pots from your native plant nursery, you can't leave them in pots for a very long, because that taproot wants to grow deep, and a pot is not going to allow for that. Next on the list, inside the butterfly enclosing enclosure, which I'm kind of trying some new things in here. Look, I got Tinker Toys. Tinker Toys are great because these are miniature Tinker Toys that I found on Amazon. I'll put them in my storefront. But these are the dowels I normally use, and they fit perfectly in the Tinker Toy, and it holds them upright, which makes it really easy for me to take them in and out and attach. Like this guy, this eastern black swallowtail caterpillar that is getting ready to pupate. And so I can just clip him on there and set it in. And you can see there's other ones. But not only that, I was able to make this little vertical hanging piece with the monarchs. And the cool thing about that is that I can just lift it up and set it down and take it in and out without having to take the whole contraption, because I did like a little V thing there, and the dowel, this is just a dowel, sets right in there. So I like it. But that's not why we came in here. We came in here because I want to show you this guy right here. Remember my sphinx moth? He freaks me out because he moves. But there is his... Okay, and here's the thing. Because the cocoon is what they make with the web, the webbing around where they pupate. So is this a cocoon or a chrysalis? Y'all tell me. Because I thought the cocoon was made with the webbing. Anyway, he's in here on a paper towel, ready to come out of there. He'll climb over, because that's what they do. They crawl to go up, and then they'll go up the side. These two, for whatever reason, they didn't stay attached to where they were. Same thing. They're just laying there, and they'll eat clothes. I try and keep them this way. They'll come right out of the back there, and then they'll come out, and then they'll climb up and let their wings drop and dry. So I wanted you to get to see, please don't wiggle, see this up close, because It's spectacular. It makes me think of a whale. Doesn't it look like a whale? I don't know. It's beautiful. So this is my white-lined, is it white-lined? Sphinx moth, yes. That I found on the pentas. And yep, we are ready. So we're just laying in wait with the Tinker Toys. Isn't that fabulous? Okay. Ooh, there's a lot of little guys here. There's a monarch and a Gulf fritillary and a polydamas. Look how gorgeous this monarch is. It looks new. This Gulf fritillary is quite attractive as well. Enjoying the nectar of a zinnia flower. And now we have to go see my alligator flag. Remember my alligator flag plant that I planted in a wetland pot? It's flowering and I can't even reach the blooms to show them to you. I'm hoping I'll be able to bend down the stalk they're on. It's incredible. So here is the plant. This leaf right here is above my head. You see the stem stalk coming up? You see how high? Look at that. And there's the blooms. And they're beautiful. I'm gonna pull the stem. I'm gonna try and bend it down so I can show the flowers to you up close. Okay, I have it in a gentle bend because I don't want it to snap. But look at them, they're beautiful. Look at the design of them. Just incredible. Who just landed right here beside me. And these gorgeous leaves, you know, on this alligator flag. Oh, I love this plant. So one more look at these flowers. I'm gonna let the stem gently go. And there it is. Here's my hand. This is as far as my hand gets. That's incredible. So you might recall a few videos ago, I said I was adding another level to my channel membership. Well, I decided to not do that because it was stressing me out. I said I would make videos of all the different Florida native plants in my garden, like one video about each, which is a cool idea and is easy enough to do, but I've got a lot of native plants. I'm one of those people that when you have a lot of things, like figuring out when to start, what order to do, when to film what, and I was like, I just can't. So anyway, we're just back down to the milkweed crew. And if you comment regularly on my channel and you don't have a heart beside your name, because that signifies you're in the milkweed crew, you get a heart beside your name, you need to join the milkweed crew. Yes, you do. You know who you are. Okay. So that being said, we're going to wrap up this video right here, right now, because it's going up tonight. And I have to get it all together and get it ready to go up. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please say hi to me in the comments. Please, if nothing else, post an emoji. Any emoji, because that will make your name show up and that will tell me that you are here. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see all my new channel members. You know who you are. It's it's like these days, the price of drinks, it's like half, almost half a Starbucks coffee, or maybe still one. I don't know how much there because I don't drink coffee. Um, but anyway, it's a small, very small amount to join the Milkweed Cruise. So go join, and you get like all kinds of stuff, like access to my early videos where you see this garden from the beginning. I mean, the beginning. And there's a lot of videos. There's like maybe 1 to 200 videos that are only in there for members because the public cannot see my early days anymore. And I also make full garden tours where we walk through really casually and just show everything. And now I'm starting to occasionally go live so I can chat with you live. It's so fun. Please join, please join, please join. Please join. All right. Thank you. And I'll see you in the Milkweed Crew. Bye, everyone.